Okay, so great. The US territory of Puerto Rico is a very nice place to live. It's in the Caribbean, it's in the heart of the Caribbean, and it is US. So when you land in there, you don't need a passport. There are plenty of flights. It's one of the largest and most active cities, San Juan, the metro area, and there's a lot of business there. So what the government there did, because the market was declining, there were economic troubles and it was just really bad. What happened is they created tax incentives. In 2012, they created tax incentives and they said if a US citizen, resident of the US, moves to Puerto Rico, becomes still a US citizen but resident of Puerto Rico, takes residence there, he or she can apply with the government, and there is an act called Act 60. You will fill out an application and you're gonna say, I moved here, I need to take residence here. And what they will do for you is they want you to fill out an application. So now they're adding more people to come to the island because they were losing so many people going to Florida and New York, etc. And by you coming there, they give you these incentives whereby whatever income you make from Puerto Rico, you pay personally no tax. If you're gonna actually do business in the US, you can set up an entity under Act 60 also, and you can export services. Let's say you're doing consulting or you're doing some real estate transactions. You will, if you're doing transactions, let's say in Virginia or in Washington, DC, you will owe taxes to that state, but then the money that you're out to Puerto Rico, money coming into Puerto Rico, you will only pay 4% tax on it. So they created these incentives so the wealthy can move there. And what happened is everybody started moving. I mean, it's been just unbelievable. Not just the wealthy, but other people said, wait a minute, it should not just be for the wealthy. If I'm not making that much and I can save on taxes, I can become wealthy. So it's just, actually, even one of my attorneys with 3 kids, she moved, took her husband, and they moved to Puerto Rico because when I started telling her about it, she said, wait a minute, I'm paying 40% taxes here for my practice. She sold her practice, moved there, bought a house, applied for Act 60, and she does some work from there. And the money that comes in, her entity that's set up in Puerto Rico, pays the 4% tax, and the rest comes to her as income from Puerto Rico tax-free. Anybody interested in that structure, I have in-house attorney. We now do that work for some students who want to relocate there. So we can do it. We do it for $5,000, which is very inexpensive. If you call an attorney in Puerto Rico and tell them, I'm interested in the tax incentives, can you help me with the application, all this, they'll ask a retainer of $10,000 to $12,000. So the point is, business-wise, it's good, and you can find deals there as well and make deals, buy and sell, etc. And here's the best part. When you're under Act 60 and you're approved, when you're resident, you have to spend a minimum of 183 days per year to be resident of Puerto Rico. The rest of the year you can be in the US. If you make money in the US, you have to pay tax in the US. But the whole idea is, you make money in Puerto Rico, or if you're gonna make money in the US, you make it sourced out of Puerto Rico. You make it like it's your company doing business, the headquarters. You have to send the money there. There are ways to do it legally, and we can discuss it further if that's what your interest is. And you will need a CPA. You will need a CPA to explain the details of how to route money back and forth legally so the IRS does not have issues. This is approved by Congress. Nobody can come and fight you. It's really US to US. The United States did that, Congress did that, so more money goes to Puerto Rico. To give you an idea, a lot of hedge fund managers making 10, 12 million a year move there and source their income from Puerto Rico so they can drop their taxes from 3, 4 million a year to less than 400,000 a year or 500,000. I mean, for these guys, it just was a no-brainer. Mostly, I mean, it was so much business from New York that they opened an office. Puerto Rico opened an office in New York on 5th Avenue. It was like a whole penthouse. I went there, I visited with the people there, so they can talk to these wealthy hedge fund managers. There are a lot of private jets, a lot of yachts. They're actually just now in Old San Juan. They just announced last week that they will build one of the biggest marinas in the Caribbean to house these large yachts that are coming in with these rich people. Is it helping the island? It's helping it a great deal. Does everybody in the island like it? Not necessarily. Some people don't like it at all. They say, hey, this is, you're abusing my island. You're coming in with money. You need to spend more money. So they modified the law a little bit a couple of years ago. And they said, now, when you become a resident, within the first 2 years, you need to buy a house to show us that you're a resident of Puerto Rico. You need to, if you have a house somewhere else in the United States, you need to rent it or tell us it's your second home. You need to get a driver's license. You need to have a social life here in Puerto Rico. Show us that you are present, and we will investigate and check so you're not playing games just to reduce taxes. That's what they do, and they investigate periodically. But there are, I think, less than 10,000 people that took advantage of that law so far, but they are substantially wealthy. And it could be very profitable. Now, social life there, it's pretty nice. People are very nice there. I mean, I enjoy when I go there. I've been resident there for since 2004, I believe, or so. So 19 years, even though I've been doing business there for a little, like maybe 20 years. So after a year being there, I realized I should take residence so I can get all the benefits. It's well worth it. You should, however, take a look, like go on vacation, take a look at Puerto Rico first. The more money you make in the US, the more it will make sense to be in Puerto Rico. One of the most important things you have to worry about when you start making big money is how to reduce your taxes legally so you can compound. The compounding effect of the money is so important in business. That's your biggest leverage, really. Hopefully I answered your question. You got it, Janine?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.